I'm happy to talk about it, but it's not because I'm trying to sell
น้องแอนนา
olive oil. Nothing in the world
Oh,
has
okay.
to do with that. Okay, so some people think if I talk about olive oil, I'm trying to sell it or market it, but I'm not.
So we put up for our passion for our love.
Yeah.
But it is good too.
So to make good olive oil, you have to do the harvest very early because as the olives mature on the tree, they start off green, and if you leave them there long enough, they eventually turn black. So when the olives are still
คุณ
very
ปีเตอร์
green,
กำลังอธิบายเรื่อง
there's
เกี่ยวกับ
a
โอลิฟ
relatively
ออยล์
high concentration
อยู่ข้าง
of
หลังที่เป็น
chemicals
ถังๆ นั่น
called
ก็คือถังน้ำมัน
polyphenols.
โอลิฟออยล์นะคะ
Polyphenols. And it's the
อันนี้คือน้อง
polyphenols
ตา
that have all the health
น้องตา
benefits.
เป็น
Yeah,
Fan
but
ของ
as the olives mature on
Peter.
the tree, the polyphenol levels go down,
Alright.
and the oil content goes up. You want a piece of paper?
Yeah, that's the thing, cause like, yeah,
So they leave the olives too late for the health benefits
right.
because as the olives mature, the polyphenols go down. So
Right.
we harvest very, very early.
Earlier,
So we get much less oil.
So excuse me. So the purpose of your product is mainly about for the health.
Yeah,
So we
totally.
keep the
นี่
product
คือ
in
พวก
health.
น้องเดนนากับน้องตาล มา
We
ศึกษา
like
ข้อมูล
that
จาก
it's a nice sensory
คุณปี
experience,
เตอร์
but
นะคะ
trying to do it mainly for the health benefits. So we have to harvest very, very early to do that. And because of that, we get a much lower percentage of oil.
Yeah.
So most olive growers in New Zealand, they maybe when they make the harvest for 100 kilograms of olives, they'll get 15 to 20 liters of olive oil. When we do it, we get 10 to 12 liters at most because the oil content's still low.
Yeah.
But the health benefits are much higher.
This is unique.
So yeah, it's mainly the polyphenols that have the health benefits in olive oil. And we're learning more and more about the health benefits in the last 20, 30 years. We're now learning what the Greeks knew 3,000 years ago.
Right.
The Greeks knew all about the health benefits 3,000 years ago, but we seem to have lost that wisdom over the centuries, and now we're rediscovering it. So there's a lot of excellent work being done on the health benefits in Greece and the University of California, in Davis, at the Davis campus in California, and at Yale University. So those are the three places, and also Italy. But in Spain and Italy, a lot of the research is funded by the olive industry.
Yeah.
So
ก็น่าจะเป็นเครื่อง
So
ที่
the
เขาท
research will favor to.
yeah, whereas at the University of California, there's no connection. So the results of
American with no connection?
no, it's very independent. So yeah,
ำ independent
there's only one place in the United States where olive trees do reasonably well, and that happens to be California.
Alright.
They're trying to grow olive trees in Texas, but for the last 3 years in a row, the olive trees have produced no olives. It's a bit like up here we plant Japanese cherry trees up here,
Yeah.
and they do quite well, but they never make cherries because the
Right.
climate's not right.
Yeah.
But anyways, we can't get polyphenols measured in New Zealand. There's no lab in New Zealand that measures polyphenols.
Not even the Callahan innovation? You can.
Where?
Callahan.
No,
No?
I know Callahan very well.
Yeah?
No.
Why?
Callahan, it's a long story.
Yeah.
The equipment, the laboratory equipment you need to properly measure
Yeah.
the polyphenols in olive oil, the equipment is called NMR, Nuclear Magnetic Resonance. NMR.
NMR.
Nuclear Magnetic Resonance. And so the Callahan group has it,
Yeah.
but they don't have they haven't been able to set up the algorithms
Yeah.
to measure If you look here on these certificates here, you can see these certificates here come from Athens, Greece. So you can see this is the major polyphenols.
Yeah.
And then down at the bottom we have the total polyphenol.
All right.
But with NMR, you could measure the various polyphenol levels. There are a bunch of names,
So
oleocanthal.
more than this. So this is a general measurement.
Well, no, it's general but very specific also,
Yeah.
both.
Both,
You can see the general measurement is the total polyphenol content,
Yeah.
but then they measure oleocanthal and oleosin
Right.
and glycerostride and lirapin and so on.
Yeah.
So that's very specific. So that's from Athens. In Athens they have
นี่คือเซอร์ติฟิเคตที่เขาได้รับนะคะ
and
เรียงกันเป็นแถวเลย
the guy who runs it is excellent. He's a professor of pharmacology at the University of Athens. And
นี่เป็นใบ
they know what they're
ใบ
doing.
ประกาศ
Okay.
เซอร์ติฟิเคตที่เขาได้รับ
I spoke to the Callahan group.
Yes.
เกี่ยวกับ
And
โอ
they
ลิ
said,
กอ
oh, they're working on trying to develop the algorithms to do that,
Yeah.
but it's very difficult. So
อันนี้คือโปรดักต์ของเขานะ
it's going to take you many years because you don't get enough samples and so on. So I said, I know the people at the lab in Athens quite well.
Yeah.
Would you like me to put you in touch with them? So they said yes.
Yeah.
So we got the Callahan group
Yeah.
talking with the people in Athens, and it started to move forward,
Yeah.
and then it reached the point where the Callahan group was the group in Athens agreed to sell the algorithms to the Callahan group,
Right.
and then they signed something called a non-disclosure agreement. So then they wouldn't tell me anymore what was happening, but eventually I found out that the Callahan group wouldn't pay the amount of money that they were asking in Athens, so the whole thing collapsed.
Right.
So we can't get Callahan can't measure polyphenols nowhere in New Zealand. I've just had extensive conversations with plant and food research in New Zealand
Yeah.
because they got the equipment, but they can't measure. They're not interested.
It's such a small industry
Yeah.
for New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's the
They can't do the
they can't do
spectrum.
the spectrum.
Yeah. Number two, the equipment they use is lousy. And
Right.
so
It's the old version.
the total not an old version, it's just cheap equipment. It's called near infrared. It
Yeah.
costs about 20,000 Australian dollars. The cheapest NMR equipment costs 500,000
Is that
US dollars.
that's where they are in Australia in US
No.
or Spain?
Yeah, they have it in the US. It's available in the US.
The cheapest is 500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can
Testing for the medicinal benefit, the two active ingredients, hericinol and arenosis, which is only reside in the polysaccharide. Okay, so I'm going through those process, try to measure myself.
yeah.
Luckily, there's already been research with mushroom by the sea in Waikato, so they've been 2 years ahead of me. So now I'm like, I'm holding back because they already been tested, but to actually get the high content of this medicinal benefit that's rising there, I have to do the brewing mycelium to get there with the fruiting body that I grow. So like, wow, that is above my capacity, ability. I'm a grower, but I'm really interested in that health benefit
Yeah.
in that in the fungi.
So the polyphenols we've learned in the last 15 years have lots of health benefits. So the first health benefit that everybody agreed upon was its antioxidant properties.
Yep.
So the polyphenols have quite powerful antioxidant properties. So that's helpful for a number of reasons in the human body. It counters the formation of what are called free radicals.